Hey guys, this is John.
And Austin.
This is another episode of the Meatgistics podcast. Now, unfortunately, we did have Greg Henderson from Drovers Magazine set up. We were on a call with him, and then all of a sudden the audio went terribly wrong. He offered to do it just over the phone, but we wanted to have video as well. I think it adds a little bit something to it for at least the people who watch on YouTube. And he was gracious enough to reschedule with us, so we're going to have him back on next Wednesday. That was going to be a weighty portion of what we were going to talk about today. So we will probably be in and out of this one a little bit quicker than normal.
You say that, but anytime we say that, you and I get going on something and we look up and we're like, oh, we need to wrap this up.
It's 3:15 right now. Let's try not to look at it again and we'll see where we end. Okay. A couple of quick things. This will already happen by the time, so it doesn't matter, but we're doing our live stream tomorrow, which will be yesterday when you listen to this. We are going to record this one. And the big thing is we're going to remember to turn it off. That is where we fail on podcasts or our live streams when we record them. We don't turn it off, and then we have this 18-hour file that no matter what we try to do with it, won't do anything. So we will have the live stream up. We'll put it up on our YouTube channel later in the day. We're going to do a couple things differently on that one, which we think should be fun. Over on that wall over there, we hung up a National Wild Turkey Federation or Foundation? No, Federation. Dartboard, and we've got some darts. So what we're going to do is every coupon or gift certificate, is going to start at $5. And then whoever wins it's going to get to choose between Austin or I, and we're going to throw a dart at the board, and it's going to multiply. Now, I didn't want to include triples in this because that could get out of hand really quickly. One triple 20 is then $600 or $300 gift certificate.
I walked in and I'm like, we have to do this. I had to argue to give away more of my money.
I even put out a social media post saying doubles and triples don't count, and Austin just immediately overrode me.
Wait, you put out a social media post on it already? Oh, sweet. This is even better. Now you can come back and go like...
now you look like the hero.
No, you don't have to say it was from me. Go, I don't know.
We've changed our mind.
Yeah. Now including doubles and triples.
Which we won't hit any of because they're very small and we're very bad. The other funny thing is I was making us throw from about twice as far back as we should be.
Pretty sure I hit a double when we were practicing.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe we will hit some doubles. But I'm also giving away my old 50-pound meat mixer. They updated the look of them a while ago, and I just continued to use the one that I'd used forever because I like it. So I switched to this one. I made a couple of batches with this new one. There's no difference whatsoever in it, but it looks
just different. Waiting. I'm like, did you like it then?
It's the same. It's the same. It might clean up just a bit easier.
In theory, it should because it's a more highly polished stainless steel. So
now I've done better at spraying everything before I start with white oil, especially the lugs. That is the best meat hack ever, is just hit it with that. Because then even if you don't get to rinse it out right away, come back like 2 hours later, just hit it with some hot water and it comes right off. It's excellent.
Wait, are you back on the hot water train? Because you left all common sense and jumped to this cold water side for a while.
It's not. There is common sense there.
I know. I want to give you a hard time about it.
When you use white oil, it does not matter.
Doesn't matter.
If you use hot water or cold water, it just blasts right off. So yeah, those two things will have happened by the time you listen to it. And it should be fun. We're going to have a camera on that dartboard so that you guys can watch us throw them and see what we actually hit in live time.
I'm really excited just because normally live streams are fun, but like this is another level.
Yeah,
it's just going to be so much fun. We're going to spend half the time just giving away gift cards, and that's all we're going to do.
Are they technically gift certificates or gift cards?
Gift certificates.
Okay, they are certificates. I've been trying to change to the correct one. I wanted to make sure that I was doing the correct one.
Yeah, what is I don't know.
There's a difference.
It's like, are we doing a giveaway or a sweepstakes? Yeah, technically we're doing a sweepstakes,
right? But it's
legal mumbo jumbo.
Yeah, a couple other just like. I don't even know if you call them housekeeping things. We have a new social media guy, Chase. So he's going to start engaging with the Meatgistics community. He's going to start putting out some social media posts. We were without one for about 6 months, maybe even longer.
It was longer.
It was a long time. So we're going to reactivate all those social media accounts. We'll start posting things again. He's going to comb through Meatgistics stuff and start using a lot of your guys' user submitted content. Hopefully we can then use that to push people both ways, from social media to Meatgistics and from Meatgistics to social media, blah, 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 blah.
That was one of the coolest things I like. And to be honest, some of the best Meatgistics posts on social media, like, is the ones that are the user generated content. We can put stuff out and be like, hey, come check out Meatgistics. It's not the same as taking something that you guys made because it's just more organic.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. And that just makes a much, much bigger difference. Couple other things. I am finally back in the upstairs of my house. The upstairs of my house has been taped off since Friday. So I've not had access to a kitchen, to a laundry, to anything in the upstairs half of my house for going on 5 days now, which is ridiculous.
I would go insane.
I was going insane. I was legitimately losing. At least my treadmill was in the basement, so I could.
I didn't check. I didn't look for like cots in here.
I did not stay here.
Okay.
No, Brutus. He can't be. He's better at being left alone than Riggins is, but he can't be left alone for that long. So, anyways, I'm back in the house. Then we
ready?
The hydrogen water.
How much did that thing cost you?
Not much. It's like $30.
Okay, not bad. Still probably ripped off a little bit. I'm pretty sure it's just a little thing in there that's sucking air in from the outside and blowing bubbles into it.
But it's adding hydrogen bubbles. I think that's what you're missing.
Wait, so is that literally all it's doing?
It's adding hydrogen.
Well, it's also adding nitrogen and oxygen.
Specifically just the hydrogen. It filters everything else out.
How?
I have no idea.
In a device for $30? Dude, if a device for that does $30, why are we not all driving hydrogen cell vehicles? Because
big oil, Austin. Big oil is the reason. You know that two people who were working on hydrogen cell cars just like mysteriously were murdered. Are you aware of that?
No, but I would believe it.
Yeah.
I love a good conspiracy. So
that's a good one.
Yeah.
If you want to dive into a good one, look into people who've been working on hydrogen fuel and what's happened to them.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. But no, Dana White drinks these, so it can't possibly be a scheme or scam. Yeah. Honestly, what happened is I saw one, and then I was talking to my friend from New York who, he's like, not only does he drink them all the time, but he like turned a bunch of people on his work to it. And I will say this, it could be totally psychosomatic, right? Like I'm very susceptible to psychosomatic stuff. If I was in a cancer trial and I got the placebo, I can almost guarantee you I would still be cancer free at the end because my brain would be like, no, you're good. He's good. Body, do the right thing. But I do feel like my knees had been hurting me really bad from all the cardio. And once I started drinking these, within honestly, like a couple of days, my knees just stopped bothering me. And part of it is supposed to help fight inflammation.
Really?
So
if it does, then I might have to try because I am in I don't know what a bout right now of just like increased inflammation.
Yeah.
I kind of go through waves and it's not a good deal. So you're kind of talking me into it.
There you go.
I don't know.
They take a while to get.
I hate stuff like that though, because I'm like, if I don't understand something, I need to know how and why.
Oh no, they have all sorts of documentation on it. I just didn't bother reading it. It was $30. I was like, yeah, I'll try it. Whatever. Why not? It's not expensive. It's worth it. If nothing else, it's making me drink water again. Because basically all I've been drinking are energy drinks and diet ginger ale and very limited amounts of water. Even when I'm doing cardio, it's still diet ginger ale. It's not water. So this is helping with that. So it's having some positive effect.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Would it hurt anything to put some Crystal Light in there? Would that be acceptable?
Somebody else asked that. I don't know. I imagine yes. Like, why wouldn't it be? I mean, worst comes worst, you hit it twice, pour it into something else, and then add the Crystal Light to that if you don't want to dirty this up. It does change the taste of the water.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, there is a different taste to it.
Is it bubbly?
No.
Or is it okay?
No.
When you ran it, like it was like visibly cloudy from all of the air bubbles in there.
Yep. And then when you pop it, the first time you hear a little.
Cool.
That's it. So I don't know if it's doing anything or not, but it's fun.
I might try it just to see.
I'm gonna make a batch of sausage with hydrogen water. We'll see how that goes. What that does. Okay.
That could be the video I was talking about.
Oh, good Lord, yes. Okay, I like that. Yep, that's good. I wonder if anyone's gonna remember what we.
Oh, this is gonna be great.
A little inside
Guys,
baseball there.
Stay tuned. More to come.
Yeah. A little inside baseball. That's good. I like it. I have been chatting back and forth with Dan Stark. He's just a guy who got my email address, and he posed a really interesting question to me, and I hadn't really thought about it, why we do it this way, or could we do it a different way? So it's been running kind of through my mind for the last couple of days. What he was wondering is, instead of saying, hey, start at 120, after an hour, go to 130, after an hour, go to 145, blah, 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 blah. It's like, would it be possible for you to provide instructions that were like, start your smoker at 120. Once your internal temperature of your snack stick reaches X degrees, then move it up to this level for this long, this level for this long. Now, there's a couple of things there, but they also apply. Okay, so I'll go through the couple of issues, and then I'll rebut my own argument. Obviously, all smokers are very, very different. Batches are going to be different because you're going to have different water content. You're going to be using different proteins, different fat contents. The temperature outside is going to be different. There are different areas in your smoker that are different temperatures, right? So just probing it in one place and saying, this is what we're going to use to tell it when to step up to the next temperature could be problematic. Everything I just said, though, still applies to if we're doing it on a time schedule.
The hardest thing, I think, would be what's your humidity, because your heat transfer is going to vary a lot based upon what your humidity level is. Your temperature, yes, it matters, but your humidity also does. And yeah, but all those factors, they weigh in regardless, like you're saying. I think it would be interesting, and it could be done. And it's all, it's all a loose guideline anyways.
Right. So here's the deal. I think I can do it, and I think I know how I can get all the best information to provide to people for it, but I can't give them both in the same chart.
Yeah.
It's going to have to be two different charts.
Yeah.
Now, here's another issue with it that you get with one and you don't get with the other. You're going to have to be more on the spot if you're wanting to do it by internal temperature, right? Unless you have a commercial smokehouse, which will automatically detect the internal temperature with a probe and then kick it to the next level. You're really going to need to be monitoring that. If you're doing snack sticks on a normal schedule, you know that every hour or so you have to be back around your smoker. With this, it might be an hour and a half, it might be 2 hours, it might be 45 minutes till it's ready for the next one. It's all going to be about how much humidity you have and a bunch of other factors. But so you have to pay a little bit more attention that way. And I don't think it's going to improve the final product at all, but I'm going to try it.
Yeah, I don't know if it makes it any easier or not. Like on most like pellet smokers nowadays, you get a fancy one with a controller.
Pellet smoker, like most pellet smokers. Are you sour on pellet smokers at the moment?
There used to be like 2 or 3 major brands out there, and now there's 500. So I say it of like, okay. There's so many, but. So yeah, mileage may vary, differences between them all, but you can program a lot of them based off of time. Can you program them based off of temperature? I don't know.
Not to the best of my knowledge,
but
I really cook 2 things on mine for the most part. Well, 3 things. I do ribs a decent amount, but I do steaks, chicken, and ribs.
I don't hardly use a thermometer. Like I just know, and then I go out there with my 12-inch thermometer and check final temp on stuff.
I was so against the 12-inch. I wasn't against it. I just thought it was ridiculous. And then we did a video the other day where I didn't have to stick my head into the smoker. I just went like this. I was like, oh, that is so much better.
Oh, no.
What's wrong?
Oh, my wife only took a couple.
Oh, he's got pictures, ladies and gentlemen.
My range died, so
he's very heavy.
Got a little 12-inch skillet, and I specifically got out the 12-inch thermometer as like a joke. So I'm like staying back from it.
Yeah, but then you don't like all the popping and stuff. You don't get it's really nice for your smoker because you don't get that smoke in your eyes, which I always hate. And it's super sensitive too.
Yeah, that has been a game changer for me. I hate that so much, and I don't get it anymore. Yeah. Stand way back. It's great. I don't know how many of those we've sold, but it's not enough. Everyone needs one.
Give away some of those tomorrow/yesterday as well. It almost doesn't matter how many we sell because the campaign on Google has been so wildly successful for those.
people find it interesting, and then I think they find it gimmicky, and they go buy other stuff because they're like, oh, Walton's is a cool place. But people, like, if you're questioning it all, should I own a 12-inch thermometer?
You should.
I know I sell them and I make money off them, but you should buy one.
We don't make much money off of those.
They're fairly inexpensive for what they are.
Yeah,
and it is
$20. And I put them on sale a good amount of time.
Yeah, it's an amazing little tool. It's probably shouldn't be used this way, but you're gonna give me grief. But it is my spatula, my meat fork.
You're gonna break it for sure. You're gonna break that one. The little one, okay, but that one's got so much room. You're gonna snap.
When you
that.
pick up like a 18-ounce steak with it, and you're like, it's bending. It's I'm gonna break it someday. But
so don't do that. Don't do that. But anyways, that's something that we're going to be working on. And if I can figure it out and come up with really good rules for it, I'll go back through all the old Meatgistics how-to and Meatgistics University recipes and put instead of a time chart. Did you hear that?
Is that your stomach?
That's my stomach.
Dude, we're going to have to end this.
Hold on a second. No. This is, I know what it is, and I just figured it out today and then still did it. So there are these, like, they're not Atkins like snacks, but I think they're like that.
Yeah.
And I love these chocolate bars that is just coconut covered in chocolate. And I eat them almost always before I go to bed. They're delicious. They're whatever. And they don't bother my stomach at all. I bought a mix pack of them once that was those and some caramel thing. And oh my God, those caramel things messed with my stomach. So I bought some like M&M ones. And I started even like, why has my stomach been so crazy recently? And then this morning I was like, that's why. It's the same thing. The coconut one's the only one that doesn't bother me, but I still ate some right before I came in here because they're so good.
That's hilarious.
I have a problem. I'm like, have you ever seen Dr. Doolittle with Eddie Murphy?
Yeah.
You know, the lady who's allergic to shellfish, but she's constantly is eating crab? That's me.
Yeah, that's great.
Can't stop myself. Anyways, but I will go back through all my old posts and post temperature schedules instead of just heat schedule.
The other thing that makes sense off of that is to make sure you're fitting inside of like Appendix A, you're fitting under depending on what you look at, 40 to 140 or 50 to 130, and how much time you spend in between there.
And also have to make sure that we're staying above 132 degrees for at least an hour for people who use encapsulated products.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting. And yeah, you could, if you really tracked, that would be nice. If you tracked the time and temp on that, you could cook stuff a lot faster in a sense too, because you don't then have to wait till you get to 160. You could wait to 160 just for the dryness level,
right?
But you could pull them out at 148 if you wanted. And you could know like these are totally safe because they've been at 148
for 45 minutes or whatever it is. I remember it took me so long to get that through my head because all the time I'd be making products in the PK 100 and I'd come find Austin at like 4 o'clock and I'm like, dude, these are only at 150 and they haven't moved at all. And he's like, okay, how long have they been there? And I was like an hour. And he's like, okay, well, they're fine then. He's like, you can take them out. I'm like, nah, they have to go to 160. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, just your dryness level. Who did that? I don't know if I was talking with you or somebody else. I was eating something that was like pre-cooked already, and it still said on it, cooked to 165.
Oh, those are the Chinese sausage.
Was that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay. It's like, that's just it's a CYA thing. Yep. One, it doesn't have to go that high. Two, it's already been cooked. Yep. They're doing it because they don't want someone to sue them over something. Like there's a lot of complexity because technically you start getting into the nitty gritty on it, and time and temperature is not enough. There is more.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That, and FSIS a few years ago finally came back and changed that for jerky.
Yep.
And so you have to have humidity requirements.
I was going over that with Chase today.
So there is more. But if you want to keep breaking it down, you can get more specific and more complicated. There's more science, more chemical stuff going on. And like this goes back to probably some of the other stuff that we've had going on Meatgistics lately with encapsulated citric acid and other things in the meat science world. Like we sometimes like put something out there as like, do this. And that's just the easy answer that says, this is the way you can guarantee that this is going to work. But then people are like, well, I'm going to do it this way. Okay. Do it that way. You can follow that. You can believe that. It'll work the same, but it'll work this other way too. It's just easier to say this because that will work.
Yep.
But there's 100,000 different ways to go about it. And if you're a commercial processor, you make up your own way as long as you can prove that your product is safe too.
Yeah, there's a couple of things that I'm probably a little bit responsible for some of the encapsulated citric acid things because I spent probably 2 or 3 years constantly saying, this is the way we recommend doing it. If you're happy with the results you're getting, just you feel free to keep doing it the way you're doing it. What I should have done is doing what every other YouTube creator does and goes, no, this is the way to do it. Acting like they know everything when that's, especially in meat processing, is not the case. Nobody knows everything. Jeff Sindelar out of Wisconsin does not know everything. Like there are a million different little rules and things that can change everything else that follows after it. But encapsulated citric acid is a cure accelerator. Flat out.
It'll work just fine.
Yep. So.
Yeah. Do I continue or do we just leave it at that?
No, let's just leave it at that.
Okay. I'm gonna add one other thing.
Okay. He's going.
I can't help myself. I was looking at product labels the other day, and there was something else that because some people say, well, you have to use another cure accelerator with it. You don't. Go look at the ingredient statement for any one of 100,000 different commercial products. If they have encapsulated citric acid in it, look and see if they have another quote unquote cure accelerator in it, and they don't.
I know some of them
they can,
right?
They don't have to,
and some of them might have a citric acid in it that is not added at the correct levels to be a cure accelerator. It may literally be for a taste.
If you're using ECA you wouldn't do this. So this is why. If you were using ECA in bacon, you'd have a problem.
Sure.
You cannot use it as a cure accelerator in bacon. Bacon is very specific. You have to use another cure accelerator. You could use citric acid and non-encapsulated, but still why? Why would you do it?
You wouldn't.
Then you'd have to still use another cure accelerator. That is what is written in FSIS's directions. It's in the Code of Federal Regulations. But when you're talking sausage, there is no requirement for any of that. And really what FSIS ultimately treats ECA as in sausage is a flavor enhancement or a flavoring agent.
Right.
So that is what they're going to classify it as. But is it a cure accelerator? Yes.
Yeah.
For their labeling purposes, it is a flavoring agent, I think is what they call it. But it's still a cure accelerator.
Absolutely. Okay.
I'm getting riled up.
We're moving on. All right. So that's pretty much it for everything we had that's not. Oh, no, it's not. Kurt Carter, our salesmen obviously go out and see our customers. Kurt Carter does a lot of them do a good job, but Kurt does a good job of when he sees something either unique or something he wants from a customer, he'll buy it, bring it back. And he and I have a deal. He will give me the whole runs of whatever it is, and then I have to slice it up and then package it, and then I get half or a third if your brother wants it. So yesterday, I got some new stuff from him from Kurzweil's. 2 of them are very good, but basic pepperoni and basic chorizo, but one of them is special. So special, in fact, that there's only 2 little slices left.
I forgot already, but that was amazing.
Yeah, so this is from Kurzweil's, and it is Cremona Parmesan Salami, and it's got large hunks of cheese in it. It has I was obviously done with a spice-lined cake. Oh, no, I want that one with more cheese.
Okay, for those watching on YouTube, I just got a hollow piece.
Because the cheese is stuck to my piece, so I'm taking it. It was obviously used with a spice-lined casing, big hunks of Parmesan cheese, and it is just absolutely phenomenal.
I'm getting some sort of nasal thing, and I can't breathe. I can't hardly smell it. I'm so disappointed. I almost feel like I should save it till I.
Okay, put it back in.
I'm kidding. No, I'm not gonna do that. It won't. If I do that, it's gone in 10 minutes, anyways.
Oh, it'd be gone in way less than that.
Still tastes fine. That's
awesome.
Delicious.
Absolutely great. So Kurzweil's, you did a phenomenal job on that. If I don't know if they sell online or not, but if anyone does want an awesome example of using cheese in a dry cured sausage, that's it. And I'm betting that's our Spice Line casings. Probably. I don't know.
I would assume, but I don't know.
Yep. Support a good customer and get some awesome product. Okay. Moving on to Meat Matters. The 20 most meat eating states per capita. So this is from your father. He sent it to me actually a couple of weeks ago. From this article, it says, in our methodology, we ranked the most meat eating states by using the total beef production as a proxy for meat consumption. This decision was based on the understanding that there really is no readily available data specifically on meat consumption by state, which I'm shocked at. How is that even difficult to do?
I don't know. I would think that could be done in a fairly easy survey.
So would I?
Of course, we go back to John's beliefs on self-reported eating habits are horribly
We're going to get to that.
Okay.
Oddly enough, there's a story coming up that I'm going to rail against that again.
But this can't be a good way to determine it, though, of how much you produce, though, because this is not, if this was the 1600s, great. It'd be a great way. This is the 21st century. How much do you export? How much do you export just per state? Looking at like us, I know this off the top of my head because I don't know if I want to get into it all, but where we sell and what we're doing, because we're moving, by the way, more to come later.
Sure.
But
not far.
Over I don't know, 98% of what we sell is outside of Wichita. 90% of what we sell is outside of Kansas. So what is, we're not a technical producer, but what we produce is goods and services.
Right.
90% of what we produce goes outside the state. If you just counted that as Kansas consumption, that would be so unfair.
Now I'll go even one further than that. Now this isn't my observation necessarily, but I do think it's right. When I was in New York and I would go to like Wegmans and buy spinach or some other vegetable, very often there would be like dirt on the roots. It would obviously be like pulled right from the ground. Then I come to the middle of the country where most of the stuff is grown and I see everything like chopped up or in packages. So it's weird that like up there where I can almost guarantee you all that spinach wasn't grown, you're getting a fresher product or at least a fresher presentation of a product.
Yeah, it could just be the marketing and presentation of it.
It could be. All right. So number 6 was Kansas. Just FYI. Number 5 was South Dakota. Number 4 is Nebraska, which makes total sense. Number 3 is Missouri. 2 is Oklahoma. And what do you think 1 was?
Texas.
1 was Texas. So, fairly, even if you want to say that that's not a good way to rate it, you give me those 6 states and I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. I buy that. Especially if we're talking just for beef. And once you get into Alabama, Florida, I want to start talking more about how much pork they eat. But if we're just talking beef, those are, I think, at least good.
Yeah. I think it has some legitimacy to it, but at the same time, I don't think it's a great way to describe it. But
it's sad that Colorado's not on there. But there's so much like tofu and
how much beef do they actually produce up there?
A lot. They used to, at least.
You
now they have whole like old ranches, like enormous ranches that are just taken over by mushroom farmers.
Huh? Because I know I see a fair bit of beef production, but at the same time, your head per acre is massively different than
what?
Head per acre. So
head per acre. I thought you said head per acre.
You need, I don't know, 2 acres per cow. Something,
right.
Whatever. I don't know
whatever it is.
What realistic numbers are there. But if it was 2 acres per cow in Colorado, it'd be like 1 in Kansas.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Moving on, Missouri Prime Beef Packers suspend operation Pleasant Hope, Missouri plant. Missouri Prime Beef Packers of Pleasant Hope will close because of unforeseen business circumstances. The plant has not confirmed if the closure is permanent or temporary. The closure impacts 335 employees. The Missouri Prime Beef Packers recently withdrew its permit application to use new technology to discharge into the Pomme de Terre watershed. Missouri Prime Beef Packers asked the DNR to approve dumping wastewater into the river. In August, hundreds of people gathered at the Pomme de Terre Pavilion in Hermitage, concerned about a plan for the plant to pour up to 350,000 gallons of waste into the river daily. I would agree with those people that I would be concerned with dumping 350,000 gallons of wastewater into a public river daily.
Yeah,
I understand it's treated, but I also grew up right around General Electric and the Hudson River and PCEs, which they said were perfectly fine to put in the river, and it destroyed the river ecosystem for decades.
Yeah, you just
PCBs?
need to make sure what you're doing is like good for the environment. But what's the other difference? You're gonna throw it into the sewer system, and they're going to treat it and dispose of it somewhere. It's just a matter of, are you doing it right there, or are you sending it off somewhere to be done? Still going to be done. Someone's doing it somewhere.
Okay, fair enough. There's more of a incentive for a business, in my mind at least, to cut a corner than for the county wastewater to do that. Right? Don't you think?
Yeah.
I think so. I mean, I can't believe I'm coming down on the side of the government here, but
I don't know. I would look at it if the government, who are they accountable to? Themselves? Who is a private organization?
Us, but
yeah,
they're not.
Private organization is accountable to someone who's going to be overseeing it and saying, hey, we're going to be doing testing, and if you don't get it, we're going to fine you.
Right.
I feel like the private company would probably end up doing more. Could they cut corners? Yes. You just need to slap a fine on them then.
Yeah, but damage already done at that point. Same thing that happened with GE. They eventually charged them like, yeah, we don't care. We saved hundreds of millions of dollars back in the 80s. You know how much that's worth today? So this is from a corporate spokesperson for Missouri Prime. Says Missouri Prime Packers LLC regrets to announce a temporary suspension of its operations effective February 26th. The unforeseen decision stems from operational challenges at the facility related to wastewater management, blah, 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 what we already knew. But we've talked about that plant before and the problems that they were having. So I thought we'd just kind of close the loop on it. Wyoming Rancher National Cattlemen's Beef Association president talks priorities. Good article, has a very, very long. So I just boiled it down to a few things. Some of his priorities were the country of origin labeling. And this is a quote from him. He says, so take China, for example. They can send their beef to the U.S. to be slaughtered and packaged in the U.S., and that label will go on the beef. But the cattle weren't raised here. Cool, or country of origin labeling, would allow American people to know where their meat is coming from and to be able to support American ranchers. And it would give them more confidence in the safety and quality of their beef. 100% agree with that. We've talked about country of origin labeling to death. Death tax. Most ranchers' wealth is in their assets, not in cash. We don't have $1 million sitting in our bank accounts to pay the death tax. So what happens is many ranchers end up having to sell their operations just to pay the IRS. So this is, my grandfather owned it. When he dies, he willed it to me. I now have to pay taxes on that. I don't have the cash for it, so I have to sell assets, which is the land. So just another way to, prevent minimal generational wealth from being passed down. Because this death tax does not really hurt rich people in the same way it hurts upper middle class, even lower middle class people, because they're the ones who are going to have to actually get rid of that asset to pay the taxes on it. The rich people have plenty of cash to pay that tax. So,
yeah, death tax is one of those things that's hard. It's like, what? Well, one, why is there one? You've taxed someone their whole life, and now in their last act on this earth, in dying, you have to stab them in the back while they're going into the ground. I mean, this sounds horrible, but it is what it. Like,
I pay sales tax. I pay all of these taxes on money I'm already taxed on.
Yeah.
Stop taxing me.
it seems crazy, and it ultimately it hurts a lot of families that would otherwise continue a small business or a family business or
100%.
something along those lines. And it's silly. Or even if it's not even a business, it's just a family. Like, yeah.
Do you know if we didn't have if it was just income tax, right? Do you know how much more ammo and guns I would own? It'd be ridiculous. It's not like I'm going to sit on the money and do nothing with it. It's going to be out there in the economy, moving around.
I've literally, because it drives me nuts stuff. I've gone through almost like a year's worth of stuff and counted up like every penny I paid in like every form of taxes and added it all up, and it's depressing.
Including this place?
No, you can't.
You
Like
exclude
that's
that.
too hard.
Yeah.
That's insane.
That'd be crazy.
But
and depressing.
Yeah.
Third is disease traceability. Right now, I get the free electronic tags for my females, so wherever one of my calves goes, it can be traced back to my ranch. So that way, if there's an outbreak of, say, for example, foot and mouth disease, then my entire ranch is quarantined for 72 hours and I can't move or transport my cattle anywhere during that time. So I was with them on the first two. I'm against them on that cattle, the electronic tag ones. We talked about this last week. Or we talked about 2 weeks ago, where instead of tags with your identifying your ranch on it, it would actually be electronic tags so that they can monitor them.
I like how the cool labeling was voluntary, and this one is like mandatory.
No. He says this should be voluntary as well.
Oh, if it's voluntary, then sure.
So I just don't like the
do it.
idea of more people doing it. Like, it's worked. It has worked. Why are we changing it? We're giving the government more insight into what you guys are doing. Why are we doing that?
Well, who's doing the tracking? Yeah, I mean, that's the question.
I'm sure the government would never track something that they're not supposed to. That would never happen, Austin. So don't worry about that.
I said earlier, I like a good conspiracy.
If it doesn't say that the government's tracking it, then they're clearly not.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, if you do something like that, it's only whether it's the government or an organization or somebody that's probably going to be abused at some point. So
I would say so. A breath of fresh air coming for the pork industry. This is from Ag Information Network. Not really a lot to talk about here, but it is interesting that in December, they were predicting that they would be experiencing $12 a head loss right now, and they're actually at $1.66 profit. So $1.66 profit is not, some huge amount, but it is a whole heck of a lot better than $12 a head loss.
Yeah. So
that's some good news for the pork industry, pork farmers. All right, the 9 best and worst sources of proteins. This is from Everyday Health. The best is eggs, and the worst is keep going. Wait, go down. There you go. And the worst is
why was
it's split into like different types.
Oh.
So animal protein. So the best is eggs.
The best is eggs, and the worst is red meat.
Red meat.
What a lie.
The reasoning for this is because it's a 3-part answer. The first one is climate change.
Oh,
the second one is animal cruelty.
No.
Yes. And the third one is its negative effect on health.
Three false arguments. Like, come on.
Now, the study that they reference has obviously no ulterior motive to it. It is purely for everyone's health benefits.
Self-reported.
And it's self-reported out of the UK.
Great.
So it's just ridiculous. Oh, yeah, no, I had, a hamburger and a steak this week. And did you have any Doritos? Or no, I didn't have any of that. Definitely not. No chips, no nothing, when that's all they're eating. Like, they've done it before where they've taken people on diets and they've put cameras all in their house, and then they've had them self-report. And then they're like, I ate less than 1,000 calories today. And they're like, you had 4,000 calories. Do you not see what's happening every time you walk by the kitchen there?
Every trip to the pantry and that handful of M&Ms, like things like that.
It all adds up.
Yeah.
So this last bit, I don't really know why it's coming up like this, but it is from Meeting Place. It's an interesting look at the farm equipment industry as it stands today versus what it used to be. This guy talks about a 1960 John Deere tractor that his grandfather bought and lasted him, until the late 90s, early 2000s, Meanwhile, a recent encounter with a Caterpillar employee shed light on the behind-the-scenes consideration in the industry. He, working in accounting, is responsible for determining the warranties on new cat equipment. Interestingly, he revealed that the parts department is more profitable than the new equipment division, hinting at a broader trend in the equipment market. So they're making more money selling them parts to repair the new tractors or equipment than they do on the new equipment itself.
So I don't know.
Well, it's more profitable, at least.
I would kind of understand that, because to be honest, if you guys buy an electric stuffer from us, the electric stuffer is going to bring in a lower profit margin than if we sold you every individual piece and part. Like, the markup on individual parts is higher because so it's more profitable. It's more profitable from a percentage, right, not in a sales volume. No, but is it saying sales volume? If it is, that's just absolutely nuts.
It's more profitable than new. I have to imagine they mean all around.
That'd be crazy. Yeah, a lot of the stuff. I mean, I bet it's
that would be like
outside,
us. That would be like us expecting to make money selling replacement parts for one of our pieces of equipment.
Wait, we give out a lot of replacement parts for free. Are we supposed to be charging for these things?
We're supposed to be charging for those all along. That seems odd.
There's something called warranty that I'm pretty sure we do.
Right. And that guy was from the warranties department. It's like, nah, we're going to charge for it anyways. This isn't covered by that. All right, so moving on to wild card. A black bear was caught squeezing out of a North Carolina house vent. And this is not a small black bear. What? It's right there. Watch it come out.
That's a large paw.
That is a big black bear.
What?
To the point where I sometimes am very guilty of not seeing black bears as something that you need to be all that afraid of.
That thing's head is the size of like a giant suitcase.
That's 4 Brutuses.
At least.
That is a enormous animal who could very easily cause massive bodily harm.
He's still coming out.
He's still coming out. Yeah. He is a big, big boy.
That's insane.
Or girl. Imagine that thing come running at you in the woods.
No freaking way.
Yeah. No, I'd definitely given up on that. All right. Do you know that raptors like hawks, falcons, eagles can catch avian flu?
Oh,
I didn't know that. So Flip is telling me, Andrew Flippin does some like sign work around the town. And he was like telling me, he's like, I saw this huge falcon dead just right on the side, like busy street. Obviously hadn't been hit or anything, was just laying there dead. And I've seen 3 hawks in my neighborhood recently around new construction sites or like just around that are just dead on the side of the buildings, whatever. They obviously didn't experience trauma. Like, I'm thinking that they're dropping dead of avian flu.
That's not cool.
For whatever reason, I thought it was just like poultry. Like, I thought it was
more specialized
turkey,
to a few species.
Yeah.
That's not cool. Not good. Don't like that, because I think we've talked about multiple times on podcasts, like owls. I love owls.
Awesome.
Well, I now have like a resident red-tailed hawk in my backyard. I got this tree that died, cut it like off like 6 feet up, ripped it out of the ground, and it's just in the middle of like the backyard. And it's just standing there like kind of by itself. This red-tailed hawk the other day just perched on it, just decided he's gonna hang out there. It's the coolest thing ever. It was big old boy too. Not just like a big one, but he was chunky. He'd been eating well. Yeah. But I love.
Have you seen Yam recently? Have you been snacking on Yam?
Darn it! I'm pretty sure I saw Yam this morning.
Okay,
but no. Like just birds of prey in general. I love birds of prey.
Yeah, they're awesome.
They're awesome.
Now that an owl will come and eat that hawk.
Really?
You ever seen an owl snatch a hawk out of its nest?
Dude, I don't know. This hawk is like 3 times bigger than what a typical owl around my place would be, I think.
Okay, so maybe it's only certain types of owls.
I mean, it'd be like I don't know what really type of owl it is. I should know more about that. I'm gonna say I'd call it like a barn owl.
They're hard to see though. Like owls they're really only come out at night, so you don't ever get a really good look at them. Or it's hard to get a good look at them. All right, giant great white shark takes whale's whole head off enlightening attack. This was down in New Zealand. Some lady was trying to get a pygmy sperm whale and its calf back out into the ocean when they said a giant shark came out and bit the whale's entire head off.
Sweet.
Which sounds really dramatic and amazing. And then you find out that a pygmy sperm whale only is like 9 feet long.
Only?
Well, I mean,
still a large
you say
animal.
whale to me and I think like 30 foot.
When we've seen a whale, tell me when the head stops. Hold on, when?
Yeah, I guess.
Now it's like, oh, damn, I still got some on the neck. Dang.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, we'll take their
Absolutely
word
knows.
for it, I guess. My
But
God.
then it came back, grabbed the whole whale carcass and swam off with it.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, they are just vicious.
So I'm glad we had another whale story, but I don't know why I didn't clip this and put it in on the news stories, but I saw one about orcas.
Is it go ahead.
Are orcas like, where do they rank in?
Oh no,
in
they jack great whites all the time.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Okay, because I was gonna say, like, from what I saw, I was like, that looks worse than anything, because it was like playing with these birds, and then it like threw this fish up at him, his dead fish. It suckered the birds in and ate the birds.
Yep.
I was like, what?
They will take their tails and smack seals. Like it looks like it's like 80 feet in the air, and you'll see the seal going round and round and round, and it's just from them hitting it with their tail. They are absolutely vicious killers.
They seem like the apex predator. Like
In the ocean, the possible sperm whale, maybe. But yeah, no, there are certain orcas that try to eat basically nothing but the liver of great white sharks. Like they kill it and then they eat just its liver.
I have a new favorite animal.
I mean, you know, a wolf, the first thing it's going to want to eat is anything's liver. Like that's the first thing they go for.
It's
It's
nutritious.
so nutritious.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, I'm trying to find. I tried to get your dad. We had a meeting with managers earlier today. I tried to get your dad to show this video instead of the instructional video he showed, but he was not down for it. It's a video. It's a drone and it's a great white shark just like chilling at the top. And dude, this orca comes out of nowhere and just annihilates it. Like hits it like you can't even imagine. But I'm not going to be able to find it.
How do sharks sleep?
Here it is.
Do they
Watch
sleep?
this. Just watch this.
Holy
Right?
crap.
Out of nowhere. And it's coming so fast.
I mean, it's coming like 40 miles an hour.
and the
at
thing
it.
is gone. The shark is completely gone. It just
That's cool.
annihilates it. And it doesn't look like a small shark either. I mean, it looks like a good sized shark. So,
So when you go to SeaWorld and you see the little orca swimming around doing tricks, oh, that thing's just putting on. It's waiting to eat somebody.
yes. Oh, yeah. You ever see Blackfish?
Huh.
You should watch Blackfish. It's a good documentary. It's kind of sad, but it's good to watch. All right. How much government cheese do you think there is? Do you know, first of all, do you know about government cheese?
What? No.
You don't know about
Sounds.
government cheese?
I mean, does it sound familiar? Yes. Do I know what it is?
So it was
Never
like a
know.
saying, like get some of that government cheese. Yeah, but so the government subsidizes a bunch of industries. One of them is obviously the dairy industry. The government pays people to keep doing things. And one of those is dairy farmers. But then they have all this extra cheese, so like, or all this extra milk. They're like, what are we going to do with this? So they turn it into cheese. So they put it, I think, I'm going to exaggerate here, I'm sure, but a mile down into old mines, like in Missouri specifically. That's where they store it. How many pounds do you think they have of government cheese?
Oh, this is a literal thing. That's so funny.
How can you store it? Does it last long term?
Yeah. I mean, some of those Parmesan cheese wheels are very old.
So who's all making this? Just one entity is making this over X amount of
That's a good question. I don't know.
Okay.
I assume it's multiple.
over one since the government's been.
Yeah, but you can't keep. I
when did
mean,
this
you know,
start?
I don't think you can keep it like 50 years down there. Right, so it's got to be on some rotation. Like eventually, like okay, this cheese is bad.
30,000 pounds.
Oh, I was gonna go insane and say like 20 million.
20 million.
Yeah.
How about 1.4 billion pounds?
No.
1.4 billion
I
pounds.
thought I'm
of
guessing
covered
high at
cheese.
like 20
Nope.
million.
Not even close.
What?
That's unbelievable. Okay.
Why are they not spreading the love? I could eat cheese for days.
It didn't, to be honest, looking at it, it looks kind of just like American yellow cheese or orange yellow cheese. It didn't look great.
Is it actually cheese then, or is it a cheese-like
it's
product?
cheese. It's cheese. Okay. An abandoned McDonald's on a remote island, Alaska, reveals shockingly low prices from the 1990s. So, how much do you think a filet of fish sandwich cost back in 1994 from McDonald's?
$1.19.
$2.
He's closer. It's $1.95.
Dang it.
Cheeseburger?
$1.
It's got to be less than the filet of fish, right?
It is less than the filet of fish.
$1.29.
Okay. It's $1.09.
So the other thing to remember here is, technically, I'm gonna argue that these prices are even overinflated because it's a remote island.
Right.
Cheeseburgers, it used to be able to go probably as late as 2003. I want to say, go to Wendy's and get a junior bacon cheeseburger for 99 cents. Yep. So just a cheeseburger should have been like 69 cents.
I remember when hamburgers were 69 cents at McDonald's.
Yeah, in like 94, because that was, yeah.
All right, but quarter pounder, 1994, remote island in Alaska.
Oh, probably like the filet of fish then. $2.
Yeah, it was $2.15.
Yeah.
But I still think that's amazing.
I think Big and Tasty's used to be like $2.39 or $3 or something like that, and that was when I was in high school.
What's Big and Tasty?
It was like a quarter pounder, but it was just like a single patty. But it was sesame seed bun and everything. So
I could have gone for those.
So that's what I mean. It wasn't a cheap burger, but it wasn't like an egregious amount of food. It was like a $2-3 burger, and you were happy with it.
It was not a 100% beef patty. It was a loaded up with soy and water. Nice. It tasted delicious though. But
without having access to my kitchen, I went ahead and ate at McDonald's 2 nights this week, and both times I got double quarter pounder with cheese, no pickles or onions, 2 hamburgers, and one time I got 2 large fries, one time I got 1 large fries. Now,
wait.
Dude, fries suck it anywhere, dude. I don't eat fries.
You got the double quarter pounder, another hamburger, and fries.
2 fries.
And 2 fries?
I
got the double quarter pounder and 2 hamburgers both times.
You're putting on some weight.
Now, hold
here.
on. Hold on. Let's back off. One of those hamburgers, my dogs will not eat just their dog food. I have to add a sweetener. So one of those hamburgers was torn up and put in Bruce's food.
How quickly? Now, this is usually just me because I'm like this. Because you're like, oh, I'm waiting in line. I get the food. How quick does the meal even last from a McDonald's nowadays, right? Like it's 45 seconds, right? Like it is just, the bread's so soft. Everything's salted like crazy. Yep. The pop has, enzymes to help break it down the way that like, you don't have to chew that food anymore, dude. Yep. It is so, come on. What are we
And especially
about?
me who eats like fast anyways.
Yeah, same here. That's what I mean. So it's like, it is
gone.
So I like the fact that it's cheap though, because it's usually I go to a Five Guys and I'm like, man, I ate that burger way too quick, but you can feel it. McDonald's, it goes with
gone.
it.
Yeah.
There
was somebody during our last live stream when I said I had the extra burger for the way home who had like a term for it.
Oh yeah.
Does anyone remember what that was?
I don't remember the term. I remember
someone saying that's a something burger.
Yeah, like a roadie or something.
Yeah, he called it something. So both days, one of those burgers didn't survive home. The time I bought 2 fries, one of the whole fries didn't survive home. And for reference,
you don't live far from
I do not live far away from the McDonald's, like maybe a 3-minute drive tops.
I was just complaining about fast food the other day. I was at a restaurant I hadn't been to before, and they had flatbread pizzas for $11. And I was like, somebody in the middle before, I'm like, is that worth it? Is that going to fill me up?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh yeah, I didn't even eat it all last time. And I'm like, okay. It's just because if I go to a fast food restaurant, I'm going to pay like $11 for a value meal, but I can come to like a nice sit down and get a flatbread for $11. Like that doesn't seem, this should be like a $20 thing in comparison.
Did it fill you up though?
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow. Where was it?
Who knows?
You shouldn't say it?
I don't know how to say
shout-outs.
it. K96 in Greenwich on the east side of Wichita, Greenwich Place. There's a place in there next to the Lego Let's Build store called Albero's. Albero something.
Yeah.
It is a nice little restaurant, quiet,
Yeah.
not a ton of people in
Lunch places are wild, man. You go to any fast food, it's $12, $13. Or do you go to the little nice Italian place right there by the liquor store right here? $14 lunch. Like, what's an extra $2 for authentic in-house made? You know what I mean?
Albero
Good
Cafe.
sauce, good pasta.
Okay. So
But
Albero
I don't
Cafe.
got time for it.
I'm not a huge fizz burger guy.
I don't. Who's talking about Fizzburger?
Oh, were you talking about the Bella
Italian
Napoli?
Italian.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Bella
Is
Napoli.
Fizzburger Italian? I don't.
I was looking up your Albero thing.
I got you.
Fizzburger's good. Like their burgers are fine. They actually, you can smell when you walk in there. It'll smell like a meat plant sometimes because they grind their own
Yeah.
beef in house. That's cool, and it makes the burgers softer and airier because they're not. I'm assuming they're hand pattying them, and they're not.
It looks like the hand patty.
compressed patties, but
The
I love that you can get like their fries by like the family size large huge plate with like 10 sauces and
okay, and there's my problem with fizz burgers.
You gotta
I
get fries
do not
separate.
like their fries.
what?
Yeah.
I
The
hate
burgers are
places
good. I
nowadays.
just
You
don't
got
like
to
the
get
fries
fries. You got to get fries separate, and it's way too many fries in the first place. Or they offer chips or Tods. Have you ever gotten to a place and they go, "Do you want the chips?" And I go, "Yeah." And it's a bag of potato
Yeah,
chips, and I go, "Hold on, I think
come
we got
on
our
now.
wires crossed here."
Yeah, I don't want that.
I'm not at lunch in my 5th grade cafeteria.
Right.
I'm paying you money, not my mom on an account.
Bring me
I don't have
Potato
Highland
or
carton milk right now.
French
dog.
fries.
What are you doing, dude? You guys okay?
So the other
COVID
thing
still?
Albero's, they're like my brother got a panini. It was like $12 and it came with like homemade like potato chips.
Nice.
Like
That's
not the
nice.
bag stuff
Lace
because
crust, yeah.
I hate
Yeah.
that. You get bag chips, it's so annoying, but they like
Canned pop.
How do you know?
so I was also there with my mom. My mom does not eat that type of stuff. She will not. She ate some of his potato chips.
Okay,
They were
but
so
how do you
good.
know they were homemade?
They looked like it. I mean,
Fresh spiral cut off of the potato, maybe the way that fresh oil maybe on the paper it came in.
maybe it wasn't. They looked like it. So
Okay.
if they look like it, I'm in.
Okay. When are you gonna wear the wig?
I got your stupid help ticket for that
I know.
today.
I've gotten twice.
At some point,
I don't know.
you're gonna
Like,
have to.
I know I need to sit down. I need to look at the calendar. I need to pick out a time to do it. But we are
I understand.
moving ERP stuff. I've met with like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, you're
I've met with like 5 service providers for ERP stuff today.
Yeah.
And then we also are we have a new managers meeting on Wednesdays.
Yes, I just realized that.
So
You're gonna
that's
have to
not gonna
wear
be
it
good.
for that.
So I need to pick a time where I don't have to meet with like
Outside.
5 service providers.
And we're being very reasonable and patient.
So my wife is bugging me as much as you are about it. And I told her, this is like 2 days ago. I was like, I'm gonna tell John to chill out because it took him like 9 months to eat a plate of mashed potatoes. And then he didn't even eat the whole plate of mashed
That's fair.
potatoes. So it'll happen.
Okay.
I'm on this. I don't care if you bug me about it, but I'm also gonna push back because you took forever doing the mashed
But
potatoes.
you were the one making the mashed potatoes. That was the main holdup. It wasn't me saying no, don't do it. It was just that you just kept not doing
Yeah,
it.
but then you didn't even eat a whole plate.
I tried.
Oh, there you go.
I tried.
I'm gonna try to wear the wig. We're gonna see how it goes.
All right. Do you want to throw a dart and make a bet on something? It doesn't have to be a big bet.
You guys' ability to
Either-
gamble on anything is
Either
awesome.
I have to get you lunch for tomorrow's podcast, or you have to get me lunch
Podcast?
or live stream.
Live stream? I'll go with that. That's a no sweat bet right there.
So it's
if it just cost me $5, $5 is a whole lot easier than
Don't you
my
mean
pride and
$13?
humility.
yeah.
Lunch is
I don't know what
$13.
you're thinking I'm getting for lunch.
Did you not
but-
listen to our recent?
No, I get to choose my lunch.
Oh, I was gonna walk to the back and get one of the sandwiches out of the cooler.
I want shrimp scampi, sir.
Okay.
All right, so it's single dart
Single dart.
thrown from where we now know is the correct place.
Yeah. Are we doing doubles, triples, normal
triples,
normal
yep,
rules?
normal
okay,
rules.
it's just highest score wins.
Highest score. You can throw first.
Sweet.
I get to throw
He gets
first.
to throw first, so I have to know what I have to beat. Austin grabs a dart. He, some reason, grabs 3, even though he's only thrown 1.
You said one throw.
Yeah, like 1 dart.
Oh, I was just gonna throw once.
Oh,
throw
yeah,
3.
throw all 3. No, step up. You can do it right to the edge of this table. Yep, right to the edge of this. That's fair. You can lean. They do it in professional. And Austin addresses. Misses the board. Comes really close to a bullseye, guys. And he got a 15. But very close to a bullseye. All right. Let's see how we can do here.
That was
I
rough.
have to throw at your dart.
I don't care. You can throw wherever you want.
What was that?
Oh,
what was that noise?
I finally found out what that noise is.
Oh,
Off the board!
Double 20!
Off the board, people.
But it's so close to double 20.
Oh, I'm so excited. What am I? I'm going to get like a triple steak with guac and cheese chipotle burrito. Oh, you would have tied me there.
Yeah. Oh, well.
How
All right.
expensive can I make this?
You can get whatever you want. Just tell me what you want. I'll go get it. All right. We'll see you guys next time.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks for checking out the Meatgistics podcast. To shop everything but the meat, head on over to waltons.com. To get your meat processing questions answered by experts and enthusiasts alike, head on over to our online community at meatgistics.com. Waltons, everything but the meat.